What is up, everybody? Long time since I've updated this YouTube page. A lot has changed. Obviously, we have went through a major correction, which I now believe is fully complete, and we are underway for resuming the bull market. I will go over a couple reasons why I think that is. First, I would like to remove this bullish count and pop on what I had as my primary expectation, which is now pretty much invalidated. Going out to the daily, starting from our lows down here around 53K, we made a new all-time high at around $109,000. If we come back to the 4-hour, I had this in a WXY correction, which we had an ABC into our W, a nice big triangle, ABCDE into our X. And what I was looking for next was a flat pattern to play out in our Y wave, which means we needed a 3-wave move in an A, followed by a 3-wave move in a B, followed by an impulse in a C. Now, the problem with this count, even though it looked really nice, coming up into this critical resistance zone that we're in right now, which was the yearly open. We had a weekly naked point of control here, and we're coming up into the 98,000 region just about now, which is our previous range point of control. Now, for this to have been valid as a expanding flat, your B wave needed to end, or needs to end very quickly, between the 1.236 and the 1.382 extension at a maximum, extended from the very high of your A wave over here, which was the end of our X. Basically, you would be looking for this flat pattern to play out, either the C front running the all-time low, or actually the C coming down to take the low once more. Now, this can actually still play out, but we would need a harsh rejection. And we're already moving above the 1.382 extension here, which looks like the 5th wave of our C is not even complete yet, which means we probably are going to go a little bit higher as well. There's a couple other things. Usually you like to see your wave C at least touch the 1-to-1 extension, which it just did. But yeah, generally this B wave isn't looking too hot anymore because of how extended it is getting. So if we toggle this off really quick, if we go over to the daily, let's toggle on the OBV here really quickly. And we have a very, very strong breakout on volume. Ever since we were trending down all throughout here and all throughout here, the volume was in a nice strong downtrend, and we have successfully broken out of this downtrend, not just in price but in volume, and the volume is still trending higher, which is more suggestive of a wave 3 than potentially a wave C ending here. There's no clear bearish setups or rejections happening currently, so I do believe we are still in a wave 3, and the bullish count is actually coming into play here. Something to note, where the OBV is currently is actually just above our levels over here, which was actually when Bitcoin was at $106,000. Now what that means is the volume is actually higher here than when the price of Bitcoin was at $106,000. What that also means is volume is pushing price higher, which means it is a buyer supported uptrend, and it has no signs of stopping yet. So the bullish count resumes, which is a WXYXZ pattern, which is actually a triple zigzag, just a series of threes, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. It's called a triple 3. In this case, it is a triple zigzag pattern. And very clearly on the 1 hour, I do like to view this as a contracting diagonal as a 1. Now the 2 was extremely shallow and sideways, but it can be counted as a WXY going sideways. From there, we are still looking for higher. We are looking for this wave 3 in yellow to complete. Now really what will tell the tale up here is once we complete this wave 3 in yellow, we will start to range sideways again, creating support on this level up here above and on the yearly open, all in this volume node. And then we would like to see one more push higher in a final wave 5. And what that would do would complete our impulse here, for which would be our first wave, from which we could then pull back in a 2. And as long as we see this 2 come back in some type of 3 pattern, 3-wave pattern, we can expect this bull market to really resume here and start trending a lot higher. Your projections for your wave 3s at that point are going to be 150,000 to 170,000. Now, of course, altcoins, the long-awaited altcoin season will probably happen up in this region. And that brings me to wanting to hop over to the total 3 chart and explaining the confluence that we have here of why this scenario must happen on Bitcoin, or the bull market is actually called off and it is over. Now, of course, you can see this as anyone can with clear eyes. It is a clear 5-wave move up here. Now, the key difference here is you have a leading contracting diagonal as an A, and you would really need to see a 3-wave pattern form into this B. It has to be a 3-wave pattern. From there, you would see a very strong correction similar to the size of our first wave A here. Now, the reason I don't think this is happening, well, first we must see a clear 3-wave move instead of a 5-wave move up off these lows, which will tell the whole story. But instead, this counts much better as a triple zigzag, just like in Bitcoin. And we are actually looking for this final 5th wave to extend, most likely in some type of ending diagonal looking pattern. Common extensions up here at 2 trillion on total 3. Now, key things to note, we also came down and tapped the 786 perfectly, which is a common target for your wave 2. Outside of that, RSI and other indicators on the weekly, on the large time frames, are actually showing bullish divergences that have actually formed here. If you note, we do have a higher high on price here and a lower low on the RSI, which is actually a confirmed bullish divergence. We can expect this to play out. Again, in the worst case scenario, you would like to see this three-wave pattern form as a B. But based on Bitcoin here, if we hop back over, it is really starting to confirm that the bullish scenario is taking reign, especially if we start ranging up here and make another high. It will really look like a nice impulse from which we can expect a correction, from which we can expect after that correction for the bulk of the end of the bull market to finish. You would see Bitcoin rally up to 150 to 170K initially, potentially higher, potentially as high as 200K. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.